Alrighty, guys, welcome to tonight's charting session. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. Happy Tuesday. Today was the first ever trading day of the year. Hopefully, everybody is doing well and did well today. If not, again, we're going back to learn, talk about the trades that we took today. I'm down around $2,000 on the day, so we're going to jump in, talk about the trades that I took, what I did right, what I did wrong. And then we'll talk about, of course, going into tomorrow, what we can expect, any trades that you guys took that we want to review. We'll continue to look at those as well. And possibly maybe even bring on some people later in the session and talk to you guys a little bit. So going into the morning, the first trade I took was a really nice model in the morning. It was a pre-market trade, and this is kind of the first idea that I had. So looking at the 1 hour, we immediately sell off going into the day. Again, I am bearish going into the day, but I'm taking a long pre-market to rebalance price. Now, what I'm looking to see and what my target was for this was the 1 hour fair value gap. I was looking for price to retrace back into the 1 hour fair value gap before tapping it and then heading back lower towards the external draw being this low. We had a nice kind of market maker sell model. Once we had this initial move last week to the downside, retraced, tapped the 4 hour, had an SMT. Again, beautiful opportunity here as well. Before selling back lower, this gives us that confirmation that the draw on liquidity is definitely lower. So we ended up selling off to this low before, again, continuing lower today and finally tapped into the daily fair value gap that we've been watching as well. So in the morning, the trade that I took here was the internal buy model. You could see this is a really clean setup here. And what I want you guys to notice as well about recognizing these models is the first step in recognizing a buy model is recognizing the sell side of the curve, right? And what I want you guys to notice about the sell side of the curve is the highs. So a lot of the times, you guys will be looking for buy models or market maker sell models or whatever it is before actually understanding if the sell side of the curve is what you needed to see. What gave me confluence with this is this move here, right? Notice when a sell side of the curve or when we're actually forming a buy model, when we're actually trading a buy model, sell side of the curve should be doing what, right? We should be generating forms of buy side liquidity. And that's exactly what we did on this way down. We had a kind of like almost like a triangle little bull flag or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But on the way down, we're creating all of these intermediate term highs, which is generating buy side liquidity that I'm confident that we want to go back to take, right? I'm expecting all of this to become low resistance liquidity run to then finally come up to the external high before taking it, right? So this going into the morning, I was marking as low resistance liquidity. So going into the morning, the first thing that I was watching is we ended up having an SMT at the lows. At this point in time, again, I was looking to see if this could possibly become smart money reversal. What do I need to see for that to happen? I need to see displacement of the upside, a possible imbalance getting ran through, bullish imbalances getting respected, possibly another SMT. We had another SMT right here, and this is when I first took my initial entry on NQ. So we had this inverse fair value gap. This was the big thing that I was watching going into the morning. If this gets ran through, I was very let me take this off so we can clear it up a bit. This was really the first thing I was watching. Once this got ran through, I was pretty confident in taking longs. We ended up coming back, ran through it a bit, came back down. So this is the point in time where I was really deciding if we were going to have a buy model or not. Once this imbalance continues to hold and we get displacement, I'm confident that we continue to run higher. So once this holds, we ended up retracing back into this fair value gap, and I took my initial long entry. And I put my stop at the recent low down here. So I took my initial long entry, again, targeting the high. From here, I was looking to see, again, if there's any possible area that I could look to scale into this position, right? And I'm always looking for that kind of opportunity if I can recognize a high conviction model. So we ended up selling back down, having the manipulation move final on ES. If we look at ES at the time, we ended up making new lows here. So this was the manipulation that we had on ES. We finally sold off. Boom. ES comes down to hunt these relative equal lows that we have down here, forming, again, a new SMT. At this point in time, I was like, okay, this is obviously going to be turtle soup. Again, when we do retrace back down to the equilibrium, or when we do retrace back down to the imbalance, and we have an SMT in the imbalance, it's a very high probability setup. So this is when I added to my conviction. We got this nice green candle up. I added to my position here, moved my stop to the recent low. And then from here, again, we continue to work up. This is when I expected this to become a breakaway. This was expected to become a breakaway because we rebalanced to the breaker and continue to hold, right? This is now a balanced price range. Once we get this displacement up, I don't expect us to come back here. We can, but I was wanting to see this become breakaway. And then from here, at the market open, we ended up coming up, and I ended up missing out on this trade, and it missed my PT by a tick. Now, the biggest thing I want to talk about in this session is the problems I had today and what I did right and what I did wrong. Number one, first thing, this trade. I think it is, number one, there's always time to recognize when you need to be taking profits and when you don't need to be taking profits. This trade, in my opinion, is completely hindsight that I should have been taking profits. I posted this recording on Twitter today, and I had a lot of people respond with, "Oh, you don't go broke taking profits." Blah 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 blah. Number one, that is the stupidest fucking thing. Anybody who says you can't go broke taking profits has no idea what they're doing, and I'll explain why. You absolutely can go broke taking profits. Number one, actually, before I even get into that, this model, 95% of the time that I see this, I am taking this exact same model, targeting the exact same thing. This is buy side of the curve. This is the external buy side level. I am holding all of my contracts here. Why am I holding all my contracts here? Because I have conviction this is low resistance liquidity. If I didn't have conviction in this model, I wouldn't hold all here, right? But I do. And I completely just think that this is an unlucky thing. And you might say there's no luck in the market, but I truly believe 99% of the time we are going to take this high before coming back lower. And the biggest thing as well is you might say, Justin, there might have been an SMT. Nope. ES didn't take this high. YM didn't take this high. NQ didn't take this high. It was simply unfortunate. Now, what I want to talk about, going back to the go broke taking profits, you absolutely can go broke taking profits. And the reason is if you are constantly taking profits and your risk is not assessed and your RR is skewed based off that, if I enter a trade and it's up 5 points and I take profits, oh, let's go, can't go broke taking profits. You know, I just made money, but my risk on that trade is like 15 to 10 points. That is a negative RR. I am absolutely going to be going broke taking profits because when I lose, it is going to significantly hurt me than what my losses are. So to be honest, this isn't even really like one of those trades where I'm upset about it. I think it's just completely hindsight that this didn't take the high. This should take the high 99% of the time. Again, it's really just unfortunate that it didn't. It happens, right? It's just a part of the game. Now, the problem with this trade, and not the problem with this trade, but my problem today was how I responded afterwards. And this is the problem and really where psychology comes into the play today for me. The problem with me today, and again, thinking about psychology, I'll basically run through your mind. And I love doing these charting sessions because we get to really reflect on these things, and I get to sit here and talk to you guys about how my thought process ran throughout the day. And I love being honest with you guys because I will straight up say how I'm feeling throughout the day. Going into the morning, it's the first day of the year already. First day of the year, I want to start it good. I enter the trade pre-market. It looks great. I'm like, this is going to be a great first trade going into the year. You know, I'm up 3,000, 4,000 at this point in time, and I miss it by a tick. The market opens, and I end up getting stopped out, right? I end up getting stopped out on this move here. So I moved my stop up to here. At this point in time, emotions are already flowing. And most of the time, I'm not emotional at all. But the combination of having such a good model, being scaled in, missing out on a tick, it being the first trade of the year, it just shook me a little bit, right? It shook me a little bit. And right after this, I was so eager to think that I got stopped on this instead of reassessing, reevaluating, taking a step back. And this is kind of a problem that I've had with, and I would say in the last month, is not taking the time to reassess. And the problem here was immediately after I got stopped, I jumped back in long with terrible risk. We came back down, tapped the 1 minute fair value gap. Again, this is the first candle of market open, by the way. We tapped into the fair value gap, immediately bounced back up. I'm like, okay, this looks clear. This was just reaccumulation in the model, which honestly, I think it should have been before coming back to go take the equal highs. We reassessed, came back down, and I entered in long, like up here, with pretty much negative RR. I think it was 1-to-1, maybe even a little negative, but I pretty much took it out when we ended up coming back down here. And this was a complete chase, complete emotional trade. There is no reason I should be entering here. There's no reason, right? There is just nothing. And I ended up getting stopped on this. Now, this is a trade that I should not be taking. And the problem with this is, in a rule that I'm going to set for myself going into the new year as well, is after I get stopped, I have to take at least 5-10 minutes before entering back in the trade. And it's hard because sometimes there are points in time where where I get stopped out and I know that that's a stop out. So I'm going to continue to journal, and as we grow as traders, our whole goal is to figure out times in which we allow ourselves to make a decision and times we allow ourselves to not make a decision. And some of the biggest things with trading, and the more aggressive traders, especially trading intraday, is it's very easy to make bad decisions because, again, it's just it's a click of a button, right? We're constantly viewing data as the day goes throughout, right? So going into the day, when I saw this and I initially got stopped, right, I'm one tick off, emotions start flowing, I make another bad decision, and then from there, emotions just keep going from there. And you guys might have noticed as well, when shit like this happens, I'll go silent for a little bit, and I'll kind of sit here and I'll reevaluate. Because there's times when you make a decision and you make a mistake and you don't want to admit that, especially when I'm trading in front of, hundreds of people. My job as a mentor is to be that. And I'm very thankful that I'm in a position to do this because it makes me be accountable, even when times where I don't want to be accountable, right? But we always, always, always need to be accountable with our trades, right? With our trading, you are the only one that's going to make decisions. You are the only one that's going to be successful, make mistakes. If you don't learn from those mistakes and learn from those successes, you will never improve, right? You will never improve. So you guys might have noticed today that after I took this initial loss here and then I re-entered and then took another loss, I kind of went silent for a little bit and kind of let DJ and Johnny take over because I had to sit here and be like, Justin, what the fuck was that? Like, that was not a trade you should have taken whatsoever. You can't be taking, trades like this, especially when you have people watching this. And this was one of those trades that just got me a little flustered, and that's why I didn't end up taking a trade really the rest of the day. And which is a great thing. A lot of the reason why you guys one thing you might notice about how I trade is when I do take a loss or when I do make a mistake, I sort of hinge myself and I get very disciplined, which is a very good thing. It's like a safety mechanism. It's like I have like a baby lock on myself that says like, you can't reach for the cookie jar or else you're going to fall off the shelf. Like, you already fell off. I'm taking the goddamn fucking whole ass cookie jar away and you're not even able, you're getting no more cookies at this point in time. So when I make a mistake, I'm completely shut off like for the day unless something is so clear, unless it's like an absolute A+ setup, I probably won't take it. And that's just for me as a trader. And that is something that has helped me stop spiraling, because one thing you'll notice for me is when I do lose, I don't lose significant on days, right? I haven't had a red day bigger than $3,000 to $5,000 in 6 months probably. And normally when I'm trading my full size, my winning days are, 5 to 10K, 15K, whatever it is. And one thing that has helped me keep those lost days small is the safety mechanism I have like in my brain, which is if I make a mistake like this, I automatically know, Justin, this is a trade you should not have taken. That means that you are trading with emotions, and that means that this is a time where you should not be trading because you are not in the right headspace to be trading. And you have to be able to get to a level in your trading where you are so clear with yourself and you understand yourself and you understand how you react and you understand your own behaviors, where you can say, hey, I've made this mistake this many times over. What is the best way that's going to prevent this? And for me, a lot of the problems I had, 2 years ago was I would, do well. I would, be up on a week, have a good green streak going, and all it would take is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days for me to wipe all of that out, because I would go into a day like this. I would have a trade that looks good, I would miss out on my PT, get into emotional chase afterwards, take a loss, and then I would spiral, right? Another loss, and I couldn't stop myself, right? That was the biggest problem. And I've made that mistake so many times over in my career that I've sort of programmed that, again, quote, safety mechanism in my brain where I just basically don't trade. And it has saved me a lot. So going into the rest of the year, one thing I want you guys to focus on as well is figure out yourself. When you journal, it's not only important to journal the trades you take and why you took them, but journal how you were feeling. How did you react once you lost? How did you react once you won? Were you looking at a setup after? Did you take a loss afterwards, right? These are things that are very, very important because without actually thinking and taking the time to sit down, that's why I love these charting sessions. The charting sessions is the value that we have. When I get to sit here and we get to talk about these ideas of how psychology plays a role, I mean, this is a very psychological-based Discord. I mean, we talk a lot about complex ICT concepts as well, but psychology is a very big part of trading. And I would say 70% of trading is psychology because you could know as much concepts in the world, but if you don't have psychology to back behind it, you're not gonna be successful, right? So going into this year and the mistakes you make and the lessons you learned going into the year, because again, we are human, you will always make mistakes. The mistakes you make this year, I want you to be extra just analytical about them, extra analytical about them. And not just analytical about the trades themselves, but the emotions behind them. Because there will be times in your whole entire trading career where you will have trades like this, where you get emotional, you maybe take a bad trade, you start to spiral, and you have to be able to recognize that right when it happens. And I'm sure you guys have had the same thing. How many of you guys will have had an emotional day? And how often, and be honest, I want you guys to be honest with me, how often do you come into a point in time where once you start to get emotional, you actually step away? How many of you step away versus digging a hole deeper for yourself? I go to gym. Great. That's a great one as well. Always. If you're into the gym, make a mistake, go punish yourself in the gym. That's what I do. If I make a mistake, I'll go to the gym and kick my own ass. Full tilt, still working on it? Always, brother. Still got to work on it. Def, keep digging what I'm working on this year. You got it, brother. Morning walk. Love it as well. Again, anything, just stepping away, going to, pet your dog, going for a walk, going to the gym, just taking the rest of the day off as well. And that's probably what I really recommend is if you take losses, you start getting emotional, cut it there. Because that's going to end up building the level of discipline you want, is being able to just cut it and say, you know what? I traded for 30 minutes today. I've been waiting to trade. I slept. I woke up. I traded 30 minutes, made my mistake. I'm going to have the discipline to be like, you know what, Justin, you lost your chance. You lost your opportunity. You took this loss. You made the bad decision. You can no longer trade the rest of the day. And that will end up building the discipline with you to be able to handle and be okay with doing that, right? Because a lot of you guys are so obsessed with trading and obsessed with the market. And trust me, I was the same way when I first started trading. But you'll get to a point where you realize less is always more. The less you look at the charts is probably the better. And when it comes to trading and when you end up making bad decisions, it is always a good idea just to completely stop trading because that is a safety net. You can't make a bad decision when you're not even looking at a chart. And come back the next day with a fresh head. Again, journal, and then of course journal those trades. My emotions were so good today. Usually really bad. I'm happy this year is gonna be the one for you. Got this, brother. No fun, no out to eat food, discipline myself, stay away from anything that I want. I wouldn't say starve yourself, but that's hard to do, especially on a day like today where you could have caught a short and made it all back. Again, you can't think about it like that. You can't think about it like that. You can't think about it being, again, hindsight saying, oh, I took this long, but I could have made it all back here. I don't want anybody saying that. If I hear you saying that, I'm going to call you out. There is no make it back. Okay? There is simply taking good trades. That is it, right? When you are focused on money, when you are focused on passing an account, when you are focused on growing an account, your mind will shift. Your emotion will shift. Your focus in the charts will shift psychologically when you don't even recognize it, right? Because you will be looking for opportunity that's not there. You just want to click a button because you have nothing else to do. That is the dangerous point that you can be in as a trader. And that's where we don't want you to be. Much love, Shadow. Keep it up, brother. It's about the discipline and consistency in your plan. Fuck the money. That'll come anyways. Absolutely. Absolutely. And people don't realize this for a long time in their career. But the people who are very new to trading that come into the space I always tell people, I get the one of the biggest questions that people ask, traders that have experience is, what would you tell your old self, or like what would you tell a new trader coming into the space? And the number one thing I always say is, don't focus on making money, focus on building good habits. That is I will always say that's the number one thing that I will always say. And it is the truest thing. But they're like, Justin, what do you mean? Like, I'm getting into trading to make money. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But psychologically, if you are focused on the outcome without focused on the process to get the outcome will not come, right? That's like going into a fucking F1 car race and expecting to win without being behind a wheel ever in your life, right? Like, you cannot expect to get an outcome if you don't know the process to get that outcome, right? And that's why when you completely rewire your brain to be focused on the process, right? Your dopamine of what you get out of trading should be taking a good setup and building good habits, not making money, right? I have programmed myself to, again, you guys haven't really seen me trade high size in probably 2-3 months now. I haven't traded my normal size in almost that long because market conditions. I'm still waiting, and I plan to up my size later this year too. But there are times when you have to recognize when and when not to be aggressive, when to step back, and it'll always change, right? So when we go into the day, and every single day when you wake up and you're focused on coming into the market and you're focused on improving, right? I made a tweet the other day that I think a lot of people misunderstood it. And I truly believe this. And I think if you go into life and you go into your goals with this mentality, I said, being rich and being successful is not what people think it is, right? You should not think of success as how much money you make. You should think of success as being excited to wake up every single day in the morning, excited to take one more step in the journey. That is what success is. Because success is not the outcome, success is the process, okay? And when you get to rewire your brain and rewire what gives you happiness, which is hard, but it takes time to do, every day I come into the market, I don't get anything out of making money. The money comes. Money has become subjective. The consistency and dopamine I get is by being patient, by being disciplined, and seeing the process play out. Guys, what's a better feeling? What's a better feeling? Coming into the day, taking a terrible trade and making a lucky $1,000? Or coming into the day, being patient, being disciplined, waiting for that best setup, and then you take it and you make half that money. You make $500. Which is a better feeling? Making $1,000 or making $500? It's always going to be the 500 because, again, it's the process. Because you know that $1,000, it's not going to stick. That $1,000 is not yours. The market is going to end up taking it back because guess what? It's the habits that you are building. If you take a win and a lucky $1,000 win, you say, let's go, $1,000 win. This is easy. Like, fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you get excited. Brother, why are you celebrating? Why are you celebrating? There is no reason to celebrate at all. And that's the difference between being focused on making money versus being focused on the process, right? The reason why traders do not end up taking so long to become successful is it takes them a long time for them to figure this out, right? And that's why this is why I created this community, is to wire this into your brain early. So you don't have to make 1,000 mistakes like I did for me to finally come to the realization that there is no other way of trading besides thinking like this, right? The best traders in the world will say the exact same thing, right? And there is not many people in this community that will talk about this ideology of trading. But this is the ideology that needs to be imprinted in your brain every single time that you open the market, right? You need to rewire your brain to think habits over money, patience, discipline, the process and the habits that take to build that process is what is going to make you money. The money will come. Guys, trust me. You are here for freedom. You are here to change your life. You are here to be financially free. It will come. It will come. Trust me. But it will not come if you are not primarily focused on the process. If you're focused on making money, you're not going to make money. It goes with literally anything in life. And I say this all the time. If you go into life, like if you're trying to find love, you're trying to find a girlfriend, you're not going to find a girlfriend, to be honest. You're not going to find love. It happens unexpectedly. If you focus on improving yourself, improving your health, improving your hygiene, improving your self-confidence, you're probably going to find a girlfriend, right? It just goes with anything in life. It is not just black and white. You want something, you have to be goal-oriented. It has to be process-oriented to get that goal. People go into the new year being like, let's go, I'm going to achieve so much, I'm going to make $1,000, I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this, and they don't have a plan to do it. A goal without a plan is nothing. It is garbage. It is nothing. It is literally mental masturbation for yourself to be like, I'm going to make a change this year, and then you don't have a plan to make a change, and then by the first week of the year, first month of the year, you have done nothing on your fucking list, and then you're back to square one, back in the fucking rabbit hole, and you're stuck. And people wonder why they haven't seen any success or any change in their life. It's because they didn't plan for it. Anything in life goes for this. And what I love talking about in these charting sessions is not only throughout the trading, but you will start to see a change in yourself as a person. Once you start thinking of this way, you're wise beyond your years. Hey, I blame it all on trading, because trading has completely shifted my mindset and every aspect of my life. Every aspect of my life, right? When it comes to wanting, to be healthier, wanting to start a company, wanting to build anything, any goal that you have needs to be focused on how you would trade it, right? And it literally goes with anything. I started trading my freshman year of high school. I was a freshman in high school playing fucking Fortnite all the time. I didn't really have many friends. I was playing hockey at the time. That was really my only hobby. I was playing video games. I had no fucking clue what I wanted to do. I was originally going to be a lawyer because I was good at communicating. I was good at getting my way with talking to people. And then I got into trading. And trading, what the reason why I fell in love with trading is because I was very competitive as a kid. And trading was the first ever time that I was I got to experience being competitive with myself, because there's not a lot of things in life that you can be competitive with yourself, especially, in when you're in business, you're competing with other businesses, when you're, playing a sport, you're competing with other teams, all this stuff. Trading is one of the only jobs or things that you do in life where you're competing with yourself. And when you are constantly competing with yourself, you get to grow. You grow so much as a person. You grow your mental. You grow your psychology. You grow how you think, and you grow as you just become more emotionally mature as a person, because you're going through all of these downfall. You have highs and lows with trading, right? You get through the lows. You end up getting I've been at rock bottom multiple times in my career, right? I get back up, go again, but every time I hit rock bottom, it's building a new layer of skin, a new foundation, right, to build off of, right? And that goes with everything you do in life. 100%. I find a weird pleasure in taking one to two L's and then calling it a day. Getting used to that feeling, it's truly a good feeling once markets are closed. I always am thankful stopped while I was down and I didn't go on tilt. James, this is how you know that you have leveled up. This is how you know you have leveled up. When you get pleasure out of stepping away after taking a loss is how you know you've reached the next step in your journey in trading. You are on the fucking edge. And the people who have been in this community for months and who have maybe even a month, I'm sure that just being in this community, having these talks, having the awareness of the way that you need to think, I'm sure you've already seen improvements in your trading, whether it be psychological, whether it be through your actual trades, whatever it be, because it's just simply being able to sit here and us having an open conversation. As a trader, I will always tell you what I'm feeling. I make a mistake, I will tell you what the mistake was, and I'll tell you how I reacted to that mistake. What do I need to do to fix this mistake? Everything that I do is going to be completely open-ended. That is a part about being a mentor, and that is a part about being a trader that wants to improve. The fucking industry is terrible now. Every single trader does not care about self-improvement. They care about showing a P&L on social media. So there is really no traders anymore in this space. No, there's not any real fucking traders. And the people that are real traders are the people that can sit here and admit to themselves when they make a mistake, share when they make a mistake, so people can learn from that, right? I used to be so goal-oriented. Last few months, I've really fell in love with mastering how, when, and when not to execute, and by waking up every single day with purpose and focus on improvement from the day prior. Seen insane strides. Cannot wait for time to run its course. Nemi, you are killing it, brother. Keep it up, brother. Trust me, you are on the fucking edge. Just wait. Definitely not happy seeing you take an L today, but joined this group because of how patient and disciplined you are as a trader. I think we all benefit from you starting the year off like this. Much love. Thank you, Charlie. And honestly, who knows? This is meant to, I believe everything's meant to be. Me taking a loss like this going into the year is probably a good thing. This is a little slap saying, "Hey Justin, you plan to up your size this year, but always remember, emotions are a thing. Oh, we're always learning. You will always make mistakes. Continue to learn. And once you stop focusing on improving and you start focusing on making money, because again, this year I was like, yeah, this is the year I'm going to make a lot of money, right? Because I'm planning on upping my size. This was that little first day where this might be, everything's meant to be. So absolutely, 100%. Discipline will always outbeat motivation. When you journal, you do it right after your trade is executed, or do you wait until a step away from the market? I'm going to be honest and say I'm lacking with journaling since I either forget it or sometimes I don't know what to write. I've made a journaling video on my YouTube. I plan on making a new journaling video probably in the next month or two when TradeMap is released or when we have beta. And once we're ready with that, it's going to make the journaling process a lot easier for you guys. But I highly recommend watching that video as well. I journal after I'm done trading. So when I hop off live, I journal. Tell us about journaling software project. Yeah, we could talk a little bit about TradeMap, what I'm working on right now. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I want you guys to kind of be surprised. One thing I will say is this is a long project. This is multiple years worth of work that we will be putting into this. Because we have very ambitious goals with what we want to do that has never been done before with this, and we can plan to keep adding to it. So we have stages set for what we're working on, and basically the stages of this are what we want to continue to focus on, early on versus what's going to take longer than continue to work on it behind the scenes. So our stage one is journaling, right? We're creating a journaling application. We're creating a backtesting application for traders to be able to go in, journal their trades, log their statistics, be able to see their most profitable times of day, their win rate, what days of the week are they most profitable. They can journal their models. They can set specific setups, what they would need, SMT criterias. They could rate their setups. It's going to be fully customizable, what colors you want, whatever. It's going to be very. My whole goal for it was to make it more fun and easier for traders to journal. Now, that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to TradeMap. One thing I'll talk about that is going to be taking a year, most likely, which we haven't even started yet because we're still focusing on the journaling. But one of the ambitious goals or another side of TradeMap that you will see is something that we don't even know what we're going to call it yet. But basically the goal for this, and keep in mind, I have a I'm very thankful for the coding team I have. They're absolutely geniuses. They're very smart. They're kids out of UC Irvine, and they're all just absolute whizzes when it comes to coding. But basically our goal for this certain side of TradeMap is we're going to buy 50 years of market data. So we are going to basically buy, it is going to be, this is going to take a long time to code because it's so much data. But we are going to buy 50 years of market data, the last 50 years of market data, and we are going to feed it into an AI system. And what we're going to basically do is traders will be given an opportunity to use this database to implement trade criterias. So you'll be able to go into TradeMap. We will have 50 years of data built into this specific part where AI will run its course, where you can implement specific trades, examples of those trades, time of day, entries, exits, all of those things. And the market will basically go through 50 years of data and find of what that setup is. Number one, it's going to categorize conditions. So market conditions are going to be categorized because you guys might say, again, for me, it's all experience. I don't have a name for it. There's nothing that I can categorize. When I say, guys, I haven't been, I've been risk off the last 2 to 3 months. It's just because I've recognized conditions, but there's nothing. It's hard for me to explain that unless you see it firsthand. This is an opportunity for people to actually see it firsthand. And it'll basically run through 50 years of market data and give you the different conditions of what that setup and model works best in. And it'll basically give you the amount of volume traded, the day of the week, the time of day of the week, everything like that. And the more data you feed it, the more filtered out that setup will be, and the more filtered and more precise the model will be that you feed it. And again, this is going to take a lot of time to code, but I would expect this probably either late this year or early next year. But that's just one aspect. We have, again, it's not just going to be a journaling platform. We have a lot of really cool and ambitious ideas that we want for it. So yes, journaling will be the first to come out. I'm sharing this not to promote other journaling sites, but please don't get the wrong way. But I want to share my progress since I switched to futures, and 1,000,000% fully focused on strategy. 1 to 2 R, 1 to 3 RR. This is year I'm focusing on not taking many trades and following max 2 losses per day and keeping the same risk I've been doing through. Or thoughts on this? I've only been trading consistently since March, and but was trading options before that and terrible risk. Looks great, brother. Again, what I want to look at getting at this is trade win 30%. That's totally fine, right? 30% win rate does not mean, again, you're a completely profitable trading 30%. I know traders that have high win rates that lose money. I know traders that have small win rates that make money. Our goal is to funnel out that. We could easily get that 30% win rate to 40% to 50% by funneling out some of those losses and really get just going down nitty gritty to that journaling process and funneling out some of those losses. And I guarantee you, once we can funnel out some of those and continue to journal and get more data, that it'll absolutely continue. You can easily get to the 40 to 50. One thing that's really funny too is I literally got an offer a week ago from TradeZella. They emailed me basically saying they loved my content and they love how I explain the market. They love everything that I promote, and they said it fits what they're looking for. And Umar Ashraf reached out too, and I had to turn them down, which sucks. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Don't sell that beautiful soul. I mean, they wanted me to be an affiliate. So no, I have massive respect for I mean, they have a great application. So I will be, so once the time comes, I will be sending out an email sign up for TradeMap, and actually I might send it out sooner rather than later, so you guys can, and I'll continue to pump it out before we start the beta testing. But you'll basically, I have a whole email sign up page right now for TradeMap that you can put your email in, and you'll get email updates. And once we're ready, we'll send out an email through that list. That'll basically be a sign up for beta testing, and we'll nitpick people from there to for beta testing. But if you haven't already, I'll kind of give you guys a little snippets of kind of what I've shown you guys this before, but I'll show you guys just a little, just so you guys have some content, because I know you guys just want to see something. So for the people who haven't seen it, the brand TradeMap, again, we're gonna have a whole website where we'll have I'm hiring a whole marketing team, whole team behind it. We have a whole coding team behind it as well. This is going to be the dashboard of it. Simple markup. It's going to be fully customizable. This is just what we have so far. We're going to continue to add to this. Actually, wait, can you guys see that or no? I think you guys can. Yeah. This will be the dashboard. And then log page, right? What we're going to be looking at for implementing trades. Again, this is you're going to have your little panels here that you have your the date, money, win rate, percent, and then you can, again, drop down menu. It'll show the individual trades that you have here throughout the day. And then you'll be able to add to this and click on this to then go to the actual journaling page where you'll be able to post screenshots of the trades. You'll be able to post, have a note page where you can add notes to it. You can implement data, or you can connect your broker to do it for you, or you can implement it manually. It's up to you. Yeah, but there you go. There's a little sneak peek. I'm already itching. But I'm hoping, like, for little time base, I'm hoping beta will be released in March, late February, early March is hopefully when beta will be released. So yeah. All right. Now that we talked about that, kind of went on a little spiel there. Sorry about that, but wanted to update you guys on that. Any other trades that you guys took today that we want to take a look at? Now's the time. I have B-ADJ on, and this is just going to, it automatically adjusts for the contract changes. So futures, you're going to have constant contract changing codes throughout the quarters. This just automatically adjusts to those contracts. In one sentence, what is your new company? I don't even know what the fuck our mission statement is, to be honest. I gotta fucking actually, like, write that. I forgot that's even a thing. What is it in one sentence? It is an application that is process-oriented off of giving traders an opportunity to dial in their trading and improve by using statistics and the journaling process. That's literally beta. That's just beta. Again, it's going to be a lot more than a journaling, like we've talked about. There's a lot of things that we continue to add. I'm not going to spoil it, though, because I don't want to give other people the idea to take our ideas, but yeah. Yeah, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about what we're looking at going into tomorrow. Okay. So, going into tomorrow, again, recognizing where we are displacing off of. First of all, what I want you guys to also notice is a little cheeky standard deviation here. We might put in a little top here before. Again, what do we do when we reject 2.5? Go to equilibrium. So keep that in mind. That I would absolutely love to see us go back here. I don't really think that we will, but I would love to see it. Daily fair value gap just got tapped into, so I do want to see some sort of reaction into this. I do think we probably go lower, especially when looking at DXY. DXY looks like we want to continue a little bit higher going into tomorrow. The daily fair value gap, we have a 4-hour. I want to see us come back here and form this market maker buy model back up to these equal highs, and then, of course, rebalance to OTE of the previous range before probably heading back lower. But on NQ, now that we've bounced off of this, I would like to see us come up to this buy side level. So what I'm watching for is this order block. I would like to see us most likely come back down here and hold here before getting bought up and going to these equal highs. So a little bit more bullish going into tomorrow. We'll see what the overnight session ends up doing, but I do want to see something like this. Have the internal model here. I want like market to open. Actually, wait, 9 p.m. Oh, damn, we have a lot of time. So we have a lot of time until in the overnight session. But I would like to see something like this. And then again, from here, I'll be looking to see what we do from here. Once this internal buy side level is taken, there's a possibility we still go back lower. So I'll be watching to see whatever the internal structure from here. If we do get displacement, the next draw on liquidity could be the recent equal highs up here as well. Any questions? Go to the 4-hour. Take a look. Again, notice the thing as well. This buy side level lines up with the 4-hour. We know markets are going to rebalance to inefficiencies and hunt buy side liquidity. We've rebalanced to the daily, swept this internal low here. I'm now expecting price to most likely rebalance back to the inefficiency on the bigger time frame. Yes, sir, printer. Of course, brother. All right, guys. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. Get some rest. Make sure we're on top of it. Again, start of the new year. We got a big year ahead of us. I'm excited to see what's to come. Let's keep it going. Let's see what the rest of the week has in store for us. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out, guys.